Don't ever forget PHOBIA, the fear of bald people. Look, we are all afraid of something, and many of those phobias are perfectly logical, like mine of spiders and heights. If you ever tell me to jump out of an airplane covered in spiders, no thanks. But like we've discussed in a prior video, some people have illogical and straight up bizarre phobias that are gonna make you say, "What?" But again. Here are 10 bizarre phobias people actually have, part 2. Number 10 is SYMMETROPHOBIA. While many of us appreciate the satisfying feeling of a symmetrical face, construct, or overall view, there are actually many who are made incredibly uncomfortable as soon as they recognize something on one side replicates whatever's on the other. Symmetrophobia is basically the fear of symmetry, and it can really manifest as a fear. Like this, nice and symmetric. Oh, does that worry you a little bit? How about that? People with symmetrophobia have more chaotic homes, choosing abstract art and custom wall decor over more evened out balanced ones. They may even dress in clothes that aren't the same on either side. It's been reported that cognitive and behavioral psychotherapy have proven to be effective treatments for this phobia. Let's just say these people need to bring more balance into their lives. Moving on. Number 9 is ERGOPHOBIA. Before you go yelling at a friend, family member, or coworker for just being lazy, perhaps you should take a moment to determine if they might be dealing with ergophobia. But chances are they're not, they're just lazy pukes. But if they are, they may be absolutely terrified of doing any work at all, and forcing them to do any could result in them becoming shaky or even physically ill, or in the extreme events, passing out. Some people with ergophobia are only afraid of the dangers of performing manual labor, while others can't handle the idea of doing any work whatsoever, overwhelmed with anxiety due to the thoughts that they will utterly fail or their work will be inadequate. Many sufferers realize that their fear is irrational and consider it ridiculous, yet as soon as that pen, hammer, or even mouse or other tool starts to move, they fall apart again. No, I'm fine. I'm just gonna sign this document. Everything's fine. Ah! Number 8 is NOSTOPHOBIA. The opposite of nostalgia, in which someone feels comfort at home or doing something that reminds them of long ago, nostophobia will make people want to avoid entering their homes and doing things altogether. This abnormal and persistent condition creates panic when an individual is faced with simply returning to their home. Honey, I'm home. Okay, I'm gone again, bye. These people might try to find other things to do instead of going back, but whenever they do arrive, they quickly feel the irrational pressure to not be there anymore. Often the cause of this phobia rearing its ugly head is guilt over something that the person regrets saying or doing. Shame can be a pretty big obstacle for people, and being afraid to face it can result in a sudden, irrational fear to ever return to that individual's home. Number 7 is XANTHOPHOBIA. While most of us probably feel warmer when surrounded by sunflowers or appreciate a good school bus, people who suffer from xanthophobia are definitely not among those numbers. That's because they tend to be overcome with the effects of a full-blown anxiety attack when confronted by the usually happy color yellow. That'd make going to McDonald's really difficult. I don't want a Happy Meal! I don't want a Happy Meal! These poor individuals are afraid of numerous yellow or yellowish items and can begin to hyperventilate when they're in the presence of too much of it. Developing xanthophobia can stem from traumas involving the bright hue or even through genetic traits handed down to them by a parent. Hypnotherapy has proven some effectiveness in dealing with the fear, but still it can take a long time to properly deal with. I say just sit these people down with Ronald McDonald. Look at how friendly he looks. Number 6 is cathosophobia. Imagine trying to take a seat at a restaurant and having to leave because you simply can't make yourself do so. This is the reality of those who suffer with cathosophobia. It's a condition that results in them having minor to major panic attacks even at the thought of sitting down. People with cathosophobia can see sitting as being dangerous or simply can't handle the things that they'd be unprepared for in such a position. Don't worry, people that have this. It's not like you're going to be sitting there at a restaurant eating spaghetti and meatballs and people are suddenly going to be like running a marathon, everybody go! Then there are others that are simply uncomfortable with how they feel they look while sitting and develop this phobia as a result. Most people with this condition can go from standing to a prone position, lying down with no sitting in between, but some feel overwhelming anxiety and have to actually sleep in special harnesses or other contraptions that allow them to stay on their feet all night. I really couldn't imagine trying to sleep like this. This is not comfortable and I don't want to sleep like it. Number 5 is ERGOPHOBIA. Don't worry, this has nothing to do with spiders. You probably saw arachna at the beginning. Don't worry, don't have to go there, thank God. No, actually, believe it or not, there are people out there who can mentally break down in fits of overwhelming anxiety after eating a spoonful of peanut butter. And not because they're allergic, but because they become terrified it's gonna hit the roof of their mouth. They're not afraid of the spread itself, but of where it can end up. ERGOPHOBIA is the irrational fear of having peanut butter stuck to the roof of your mouth, either while eating the food or even when simply imagining it being there. I know it's not there, but I'm freaking out. Although it was originally created as a fictitious humorous phobia for someone to have, it wasn't long before actual people came forward claiming that they suffer from it. Many people with this fear are also terrified of choking, as you might imagine, something that can happen while eating the sticky, nutty breakfast food. Listen, I believe in baby steps, and if you're a man-child who can't happen to get a little bit of peanut butter in the mouth without choking, start with like Reese's peanut butter cups or something. Have a glass of milk there, man-child. Number 4 is IDEOPHOBIA. Got a cool, fresh idea? Well, keep it to yourself because it will totally stress some people out. IDEOPHOBIA is a condition in which the individual has an aversion to new thoughts. That would explain all the stupid people in the world. People with this phobia suffer severe anxiety when facing new plans or suggestions, often becoming agitated and clearly uncomfortable in the situation. While a comfort zone is a welcome place for us to be in, IDEOPHOBIA makes someone unable to leave it, as they will always choose the old habit over trying something new or embracing new ways to perform tasks, even if the new way is much easier. People have literally lost their jobs because of the ailment, unable to change things or embrace a notion to improve the business because it's outside their normal routine. A lot of these people become hermits, hiding away from anyone. The friendly hermits, not the type that live in the forest with a bloody axe that comes out every Halloween. Time to eat some kitties! No, not that kind. Number 3 is OIKOPHOBIA. Have you ever looked at your stove, washing machine, or refrigerator and thought, you know, that thing's totally terrifying, it's gonna kill me? If so, you may be suffering from oikophobia. Often referred to as domatophobia or ecophobia, oikophobia is the fear of home surroundings, often manifesting as an aversion to specific home items such as appliances, furniture, or permanent fixtures in the home, such as railings or even bathtubs. Well, anyone that's ever fallen down the stairs will tell you that those railings are out to get you. Most often, sufferers see any item in theirs or other people's homes that even have a tiny chance of being dangerous as things to be utterly avoided. In more rare cases, a person can become afraid of any object that reminds them of their own home and will actively attempt to avoid coming into contact with such things at all costs. Number 2 is logophobia. Logophobia is a condition in which the individual has an irrational and often persistent fear of words. This can manifest as a fear of certain words, such as ones that are too short, or in another language, fear of ones that are hard to pronounce, or even a fear of their own name being written or spoken to them. There are some people that have been suffering from logophobia for so long, they literally could not learn to read as a child. Perhaps this is a manifestation of a fear of understanding something too large for the brain to comprehend, or it could simply be a way to avoid receiving bad news. And in extremely rare cases, logophobia has led to some sufferers to becoming mute and distant from others, unable to handle speaking or hearing words at all. And number 1 is OMPHALOPHOBIA. Ironically, one of the weirdest phobias a person can have is also way more common than you may think. Omphalophobia is the fear of belly buttons, and it affects a huge number of people, albeit often to varying degrees. Sufferers may simply not like being touched in or around their navel, while others cannot even stand the sight of one of those freaky little things. They are rarely topless, and bathing can actually become an uncomfortable experience as they clean around the little thing that they fear. In fact, English singer Jenny Frost is known for being omphallophobic and often asks people not to touch her stomach for any reason. Ma'am, you're choking. We have to give you the Heimlich maneuver. No. Some gain the phobia from childhood injuries, perhaps after poking at it way too much, or they simply can't shake the feeling that the doctor who delivered them left some of the umbilical cord attached down there. You're welcome. Thank you guys for watching, but we're not done yet. On the screen, there's 2 more videos that you can tap to check out right now, or if you want to check out all of my most recent videos, you can tap that little iCard in the corner of your screen. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!